Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got a new event being released on a special day. The fantasy hockey event, in which it looks like it was intended, is being released again. If you played NHL 20, you know how the event works. But I'm going to go into all the details. It looks like it's about the same format. I'm super excited for it. It's one of the best events. Any ways that you can tie in real life NHL to HUT, I think is fantastic, and they've done a great job with it so far in the last 2 years. So we'll go over all of the cards and how it's going to work right now. Let's get into the video. Guys, make sure you subscribe. Also, by the way, if you're here every day, hit the subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Hit notifications on if you want to know exactly when. But again, like I said, it really helps me. All right, let's get into the content. All right, so here is the banner. It will explain what's going on. So you see the Brent Burns, the 84, and then it gets boosted to an 85. So for skaters, +1 to all attributes except 0.5 to speed and acceleration. That's the new format for speed, so that it keeps progression a lot lower. For every goal scored in the regular season, so Brent Burns scores a goal, he will go from an 84 to an 85 the next day at 5 p.m. Usually on the weekends, it doesn't happen until Monday at 5 p.m., but at 5 p.m. the next day, the fantasy cards get boosted. Sometimes it's the night of, but it all depends. Synergy points double for that player if that player reaches 95 overall. So if they score enough goals in the regular season in the real NHL to get boosted, they will get a 95 overall and double their synergy points. Maximum upgrade level is 99, and only regular season NHL games count, so the playoffs don't count. Once it's upgraded to the regular season, that is it. So let's get into all of the fantasy card and options for them. All right, we're going to start at the bottom with technically the best player option. So Jack Eichel, a 74 overall. Now, obviously, he's a 74 overall because he is expected to score a lot during the regular season. I believe it's a 56-game regular season. So again, he would have to score enough to get up. So 20 goals, it's probably going to take quite some time during the regular season. And obviously, you're not going to be able to use this card for quite some time unless he absolutely blows up. But it's not outside the realm of possibility, because if we remember last year, James NEAL, who scored like 9 goals in his first 5 games, was just absolutely blew up. And for everyone that was just taking part in the fantasy hockey event for the World Junior Championships, that was based on win medals and how the team actually finished. This is individual players, so every single night, it's really good. If you're a fan of the Sabres, obviously trying to get Jack Eichel would be huge, but it's obviously a long-term investment. So I'm going to do a ranking and what I think. I'm going to go and crunch the numbers and see where I think the best values are throughout, but I'm just going to talk through these ones. It does have Balance and Magician, 2 of the lesser synergy, so that's kind of a knock on it, but obviously exciting to have Jack Eichel in the fantasy hockey event. Then we've got the 79 Sam Bennett with Heart and Soul, which is kind of rough, but Wingman. The thing about this card is that he only has to score a little bit, and if you have Distributor on, you could actually use him a little bit faster than, let's say, Jack Eichel, so you got to keep that in mind. But 6'1" comes with 82 speed right out of the gate and a speed synergy in Wingman, which is nice. But yeah, like obviously for the first little while, I'm not going to want to use him. Following him, we've got the new Toronto Maple Leaf in Wayne Simmonds, 81 overall, has Distributor, 6'2", and passing playmaker. Makes him pretty interesting. I'm not going to lie. He's not going to be a highly touted goal scorer for the Leafs, but again, they play so many games in such a truncated time period that it's not out of the realm of possibility you can get a few goals in the first 2 weeks of the season. And like I said, for these guys that you can actually use right out of the gate, it's very close. Wayne is not going to be very good, but because he has Distributor, you can put him on your 4th line to give yourself Distributor. But not a terrible card, and honestly, looking at him so far, one of my favorites just because he's usable, early on, but again, not expected to score a ton of goals. Then we've got the 81 Clayton Keller from the Arizona Coyotes, 5'10", with Swarm and passing playmaker. Again, Swarm makes him a little more usable, but when you look at his skating, also awesome because he has 85 speed, 85 acceleration. So he needs a lot less goals to actually, be usable for your team, because this event is more of an investment throughout. And again, it sucks because if the season started on time, and like normal, these cards are a lot more beneficial because they have to be adjusted for later in the year. We've already got 90 overall cards out, right? So it's very difficult to release this event with the formula that you think is going to happen in the regular season so that these cards aren't just super overpowered, and keep them relevant early on when they get released is super difficult. It's a very hard mix, but cards like the Wayne Simmonds and Clayton Keller have, more use right out of the gate, which does boost their value. Then we've got the 81 Jeff Carter. Not going to lie, I can't stand Jeff Carter, but this is easily my top pick in terms of being able to use him early and having an option of, upgrading quite a bit. Obviously, he's a pretty renowned goal scorer, but again, I will have a video that will come out ranking all of these probably tomorrow, but early on, Jeff Carter looks like one of the best options for you. Then we've got the 81 Jake Allen for the Montreal Canadiens. Obviously, a backup to Carey Price, going to split quite a bit of time. Not a very good option here. Again, it will work differently for goaltenders. It's based on wins. So while Montreal should do decent in the regular season, he's going to heavy split time with Carey Price, and, his stats just not very good, and Spark and Balanced aren't really that good of a combo either. Now we've got the 82 RICKARD, RAKELL, 6'2", with Spark and Gladiator, and again, because he's got Spark, and if you have Distributor, it makes him pretty usable early on, which I can't stand. So Ducks and Kings players, which are the worst, they have the options to start early on. Again, I think for free-to-play guys, this event is far more advantageous and interesting than the guys that have God Squads. Obviously, none of these cards are going to make my team. And the guys that play, Hut religiously, you're not really going to be able to use these cards for a long time. So it's more of a fun investment. But for early on free-to-play guys, that's why I want to make my video ranking them so I can show you guys which you could use and, have the best ability to kind of jump up. Then we've got the 82 FILIP HRONEK on right defense. Obviously, defensemen, it's very difficult. So they're not going to be expected to score a lot. But with Workhorse, that's a nice synergy to have. But not super thrilled with this card, just because he's got Barrage, which as a right defenseman, we already have a couple of right defensemen that have Barrage, and I'm not a huge fan of it. Then we've got the 82 Charlie COYLE, 6'3", only 70 on the draws. I wish it was higher. Honestly, that would make him a lot more usable. Just this one's going to be a hard avoid, I can tell you that. Just not enough, and he's going to have to score a lot, and even if he does, it's not going to be a great card. Then we've got the 84 NEAL PIONK, again, with Distributor and Workhorse, which makes him usable pretty much out of the gates. And, if he can get 4 or 5 goals, that makes this card extremely viable, even if it doesn't get very high. It's a very good option. So a nice one there with Distributor and Workhorse. Following him, we've got the 84 Brent Burns. This card needed synergies. Brent Burns cards in NHL 20, they are not nearly what they were in past games, especially NHL 20. In 21, you need fast guys and big guys. While they are valuable like Victor Hedman, they need to be able to skate a little bit, and Brent Burns cards just can't. So even if he scores 15 goals, his max speed is going to be 87 before Distributor, which would get it up to 90. And by the end of the time, when that actually happens, if he were to score 15, it's going to be tough. I will say this, his shot is going to be phenomenal, and it's probably going to happen early on. As a Sharks fan, Brent Burns he historically takes a ton of shots on net, and the offense is going to drive through him. But with Heart and Soul and Shutdown, terrible synergies for him. So I'm not super excited for this card. I'll probably pick it up as a Sharks fan, but it's going to be very difficult to use him. And then we've got the 85 JACCOB SLAVIN, 6'3", with Balance and Shutdown. Again, 2 synergies you're not looking to activate. And again, at 83 speed, at 85 overall, it's nice because all his defensive stats are okay. But again, he's going to need to score like 5 goals. And if he does, 5 goals from a defenseman, speed is only up to 86 maybe. So you got to think of it like that because it is very difficult for defensemen in this format to upgrade. So those are all of the players for this event. So now let's just take a look at the market real quick. As again, there's no sets for it. So Jeff Carter, like I said, these cards are going to be stupidly priced right now. Like $500K for Jeff Carter, 0 chance, guys. These guys will fall in price because people can't sink this many coins into a card when he's not able to be used. Like $350K right now, sure, it might be a good investment now, but you're paying top dollar. Wait for the event to be out a little while. Wait for Team of the Year to pass. Fantasy, wait for this event to start a little bit, get closer to the regular season. You'll start to see these prices drop quite a bit as more and more get pulled. I would not invest in any right now, though. All right, guys, so that is going to cover everything of the new cards that were released for Fantasy Hockey. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section down below, and please subscribe for daily NHL content. I'll see you next time, guys.